listening to the MMA Brothers Podcast, coming to you from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Your source for UFC news, previews, and post-fight coverage. Hosted by your favorite duo, Daryl and Asher. Let's get it started.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the MMA Brothers Podcast. My name is Daryl.
My name is Asher.
And we're talking UFC Fight Night, Korean Zombie versus Brian Ortega. Asher, take us away.
Yeah, so Brian Ortega is finally back. He's been gone for a long time. I think he actually did have one fight booked in between this hiatus between fighting Zombie. Then I think he got injured. I forget who the
I think it might have been Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, maybe. No. He did fight Frankie Edgar, but there's another guy that he was supposed to fight. Then I know he got injured. Maybe it was Zombie, actually, because I feel like this was scheduled before, and then Ortega got injured. Now it's been scheduled again.
Oh, yeah, I remember it was scheduled. Ortega pulled out of the fight, and then Frankie stepped in to fight Korean Zombie and got bodied.
Oh, that's what happened. That's right. So, and yeah, obviously everybody knows the beef between Ortega and Korean Zombie. For those who don't know, Jay Park, who's like this American Korean rapper, is boys with Korean Zombie. Korean Zombie was at a fight night event, and I think Jay Park was talking or translating what Zombie was saying, but then I guess maybe the way he was translated, it sounded like he was talking shit about Ortega. So Ortega was at the same event that Zombie and Ortega were at, Zombie and Jay Park were at, sorry. And then apparently Brian Ortega took it like the exact moment when Korean Zombie went to the bathroom to confront Jay Park and say like, yo, are you Jay Park? And then he's like, yeah. And then Ortega slapped him, and then like beef started. So clearly there's bad blood between these two guys. I don't know why Ortega is so mad and slapping rappers instead of slapping Zombie, but a lot of people were really confused because like, yo, Ortega, like that's not you. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So because he comes
Ortega's a hood man.
Yeah.
People always forget Ortega's from like the streets of California. Like this guy used to get in street fights like he's a dog.
Yeah.
Just the fact he just happened to be really good at fighting and really good at jiu-jitsu. He's a great student. So they're just like, all right, dude, you need to get this guy to have some positive energy. So that's the reason as to why. But anyways,
I guess, yeah, we'll get to him later, but maybe he's going back to his old ways. But first fight of the main card, we will start at the bottom of the main card. The first fight would be Thomas Almeida versus Jonathan Martinez. So Thomas Almeida is a guy that came with a lot of hype in the UFC. I think he was maybe 21 or 20-0 or something. I can't remember. He had some crazy record, and like almost all his fights were ending by TKO, and he fought Cody Garbrandt, and then that's how Cody Garbrandt made his name, because he KO'd him like within like the first few minutes of the first round. So, and he's had a few losses since then. So Thomas Almeida is fighting Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan Martinez is from USA, Almeida from Brazil. 22-3 record for Almeida versus 12-3. So Almeida is a little bit shorter, and this fight is at bantamweight. So if we look at the way they win, as you can see, the KO record is pretty high, like I said, for Thomas Almeida. I'm picking Almeida to win this fight. As the average fight time is shorter, higher KO percentage. He does have submissions on his record, but Almeida is just the more crisper striker between the two. So that's why I'm picking.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know a lot of these fighters on this card, so I'm just going to be shooting in the dark for a lot of them. I've seen Jonathan Martinez fight before. He's got a chin. I'm not scared of him taking shots, but if I had to put my money on it, I'll go Thomas Almeida, judging by the great description that you gave that I didn't know about beforehand. So I'm going to go Thomas Almeida. I'm not going to sit here and BS you guys like I know a lot about these fighters. This card is basically a card that people are trying to make a name for themselves, and that's how they're going to get people to watch it, because a lot of these fighters are unknown to the general MMA fans. I know Jimmy Crood, but everyone else.
Yeah, go for it. So you can break down this one. Jim Crood versus Modestas Bucosta.
Yeah, you did well. So Jim Crood, he loves to stand up and bang. He's got very good kicks. I've watched some of his fights before. This is the light heavyweight division. These are some big boys. Modestas looks like this is his first fight in the UFC because they don't even have his reach or leg reach. Jim's pretty tall. He's got good hands. His head movement's a little bit suspect sometimes. He can get hit a lot. He's good on the ground. He's good with his hands. So you're in danger in a lot of places, and he's got a good gas tank. So it'll be interesting to see how Modestas handles that because Jim likes to start pretty fast. So it'll be interesting. I don't really know much about Modestas, and I've seen only a few of Jim's fights, but he's a very, very good fighter. Very, excuse me, very interesting fighter as well. So we can look probably. I would go, seeing as I don't know the other guy and he's got a high TKO percentage. I'm gonna go Jim Crood first round TKO because I feel like Modestas is gonna come in and try to put the pressure on and get caught.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna go with Jim Crute because I have seen more of his fights. His record is great. The Aussie, even though his KO percentage isn't as high as Modestas, his Modestas is a scary looking dude, and I'm sure he's gonna come in there ready to take his head off, even though Crute is also the shorter man. So I don't know. I'm going with what I know, and I'm picking Jim Crute, even though I would not be surprised if Modestas gets the W. So next we got Caitlyn Kagan versus Jessica Andraj. Jessica Andrade just loves to fight. I mean, she fought like what less than 2 months ago against Rose Namajunas, which Rose was just
Was
peppering her face.
bloody. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was bloody bath, bro.
So I mean, she's back, and like Andrade would probably fight every month if she wanted to, or if not if she wanted to, she probably does want to. It's just a UFC won't let her. But yeah, Chikagian, blonde fighter. I think she won her last fight, if I'm not mistaken. Because
Yeah,
she did
she
fight.
lost. She lost to Valentina, right? And
Yeah,
then
she lost to Shevchenko and then she fought again and she won her last fight pretty convincingly. I can't remember who it is against, but it's another fighter in the division that's well known. But anyways, Andrade has an MMA record of 20-8, Caitlyn Chikagian 14-3. Chikagian's from the States, Brazil for Jessica Andrade, and Andrade is a really, really short fighter.
she
Um,
beat Shevchenko's sister,
oh, that's right.
Antonina.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So she beat I clicked on the fighters by accident. Yeah, so she beat Shevchenko's sister, which is probably beef because now if Shevchenko fights Chikagian again, she's gonna get like KO'd viciously. The first time they fought, she was being nice and still beat her up, but just wasn't too bad. But yeah, Chikagian's ranked number one. And if we look at the ways to win, obviously Andrade has the more KO power, has higher KO power, and Kagan is a good wrestler and she is strong and she is able to manhandle some of her fighters. But in this fight, obviously,
For
if
women handle.
yeah, woman handle. So in this fight, clearly, if the grappling is on Chikagian's side, then she's gonna win this fight. But
I
if
know
we're trying
Andrade is
to
a really good wrestler too.
yeah, but like the thing is, Chikagian will probably like take Andrade down and won't be able to handle because Chikagian's a much bigger fighter than Andrade. So in this case, I'm gonna pick
Jessica only has one way to win, and
I'm
that's
gonna
her
pick
marching
I'm gonna
forward
pick
and throwing
Andrade.
shots.
I'm gonna pick Andrade because I think Andrade, she's just a tank and just can take a beating, and then I feel like Blonde Fighter is gonna get caught by like a left hook by Andrade. That's what I'm thinking. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with blonde fighter. I had her winning against Valentina, and that was the worst decision. But I just think that Caitlyn has seen short, stocky, powerful punchers before. She can keep her at distance, just time it, clinch it, bring her down. Jessica is ridiculously strong, so I don't know how she's going to secure the takedown. She's a short, stocky fighter. I see it as Caitlyn just basically avoiding the striking and clinching her, taking her down, and holding her down for 3 straight rounds from getting the dub. So.
Exactly. So next we're gonna move on to the co-main event of the evening. We got as it loads, we got Gain
Cyril.
versus Delija. Yeah, so this guy is 3-0. Oh my god. So clearly Bon Gammon, good something. I don't know what Bon Gammon means. Walk in trouble.
I think he's French because Bon
Is
is good.
good. Yeah. So he is French. It says France 3-0 MMA record versus a Croatian who's 17-3. So I'm assuming this guy is an Ngannou type, you know what I mean? Type guy. I was gonna say another word, but because this guy
An Ngannou
clearly
type nigga, bro.
yeah, because clearly like there's no way the UFC was like, bro, we're gonna put this guy on as a co-main event and he's 3-0 in the UFC. So I already know who I'm putting my money on because I already know somebody's going to sleep in this fight. But just to break it down, Gain Gane, or I don't know how you pronounce his name, he's 3-0 from France. He is 193 centimeters tall. And then Delia, or how you pronounce his name. He's Croatian, 17-3. So if we look at how they win fights, let's see if my
I mean,
oh,
gain.
I
How does
mean
that make any sense?
that's actually, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the UFC's capping with his record because it doesn't make sense 60% and 40% because it's an odd number, right? So that doesn't add up. The UFC stats are always tripping. Let me look it up. But yeah, who are you
Let's
picking for
go,
this one?
UFC. I
He's
mean, it's just
six
the
and
top.
0. He's 6-0. There you go. He's 6-0. So he has, is that two? Yeah, 2 wins by KO and 4 wins by submission. I think that's how it breaks down.
I
So
don't know, man. The other dude doesn't go to a decision, and the other dude has gone to a decision. I'm gonna go with the Frenchman who's never gone to a decision. So I get he's gonna be once again co-main, lots of eyes. He's gonna come out there, put the beating on the Croatian dude. But one thing you know about Croatians, they're freaking huge and they can take a punch and they're ridiculously good fighters as well. So I'm gonna go with the Frenchman, Cyril. He's
yeah, I'm picking
Ghanaian.
the.
He's probably Cyril Ghanaian. You know what I mean?
He's gonna
Some
knock him
French
out
dude.
and give him a croissant after. So, anyways, um, final fight of the night, the main event of the evening.
Cyril Janet du fromage.
Give him some du fromage after a nice submission. So I rate it, Gane. I rate it. So finally, Ortega, like we said before, manhood man. Even though he's before he fought Max Holloway, he's like the nicest guy. Everybody was like, oh, he's so respectful and whatever. He had a choice. Everybody was memeing him. It's like he had a choice. Brian Ortega had a choice. It's either he could stay in the mean streets or he could become a fighter, and he took the other choice, and now he's here. So Ortega, I think he had like he was
That
undefeated.
was
He had won
that
two
was so
or one.
depressing of a way of an intro. He had a choice and he
He
chose to fight, guys. Thank you.
had a choice,
The
and
fuck.
he clearly made the right choice, guys.
It's like a moral show here at the MMA Brothers. Shut up, man. Just get into the fight, man.
He had a choice, and he clearly made the wrong choice because he's got CTE now.
Oh my god. Anyways,
So, anyways, Miguk versus Daejuan Miguk, American versus Korean. So we got Korean Zombie. I don't know why
huh?
it didn't translate for some reason.
Michouf versus Michouf.
Yeah, so this is American versus Korean. I just said it in Korean. So because it's
Yeah. Leave that out, man. What's wrong with you? You act like we know what you just said.
I'm joking.
Yeah, if I said, and then people are like, what? What this guy? There's no offense, by the way. I was just saying,
Guys,
I just mean just
there's
saying some
probably
random
one
words.
Korean that's listened to this episode because it's a Korean zombie. So shout out to you, whoever you listened to this. You understood what I meant when I said that. Anyways, American versus Korean fighter. Korean zombie is a little bit shorter. He's going to be 2 centimeters shorter. And Korean zombie does have the reach advantage. So, Korean Zombie has just been knocking out fools lately. People can't really touch him. The Yair Rodriguez fight that he lost, he actually was winning that fight in the scorecards until he got that spinning back elbow. So pretty much he's been like on a 3-4 fight win streak. So he's been dusting fools and
Yeah, if you just discount his L, he's been on a 3 or 4 fight winning
yeah,
streak for.
whatever. You know what I mean? So he's been dusting fools, and I feel like the winner of this
That
fight
was
is
pure
probably
sarcasm, by the way. I don't know if you caught on, but go
no,
on.
it's all good. So the winner of this fight clearly is going to be next in line, I think, for the title shot because it's not Max Holloway that's champ anymore. So Brian Ortega, if he beats like Chen Sun Jung like convincingly, then he can make a case to fight Volkanovski next because Volkanovski doesn't have an opponent, and then the trilogy between him and Max Holloway is kind of just like maybe not. So
Even though Max beat him twice, but anyways, go on.
yeah. So looking at the stats, for some reason, the UFC sucks at putting stats on their website. We all know that Korean Zombie has KO power and he has a lot of like submission ability. And then Ortega wins most of his fight by submission. T City is his nickname. They call him that for a reason. Zombie, he can take a beating. That's why they call him Zombie. So this one's going to be who can take more of a beating because both these guys can take a beating. So it's going to be like, oh my God, this main event is going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed. There's going to be a lot of sweat. There's going to be a lot of tears. But I'm picking Korean Zombie just because he's been so active. He's been knocking dudes out, and Ortega has been on the shelf for a long time. And I know he does those Hail Mary submission victories where he just jumps on you and then all of a sudden you're tapping. So it's like, I
No,
don't know.
dude, they said that Ortega's squeeze for his size is ridiculous. Like if he gets you in a submission, 9 times out of 10 you're just gonna tap. You're like, dude, this guy's mod.
Yeah. So I don't even know if Zombie's ever lost a submission before. I doubt it because he's such a nice black belt too. So, anyways, I'm picking Zombie. Who you got?
Yeah, you're right. Black belts never tap.
That's not what I said. I said I don't think he's being submitted.
I know. I was literally just twisting your words.
Yeah.
I think Brian Ortega is going to take this win. I think it's going to start off. Chen Sung-jung is going to control the tempo in the first 2 rounds. He's going to be beating up Brian. And Brian's just going to turn the tide, man, as he usually does. He's got a ridiculous chin, and I think he's just going to leap for a single leg or something, get it, and the next thing you know, Chen Sung-jung a little bit more tired on his back, and he's just going to get submitted. Probably 3rd or 4th round submission for Brian Ortega in this fight. Or it's going to be Chen Sung-jung first round TKO.
Yeah, I just looked up his record. He has no submission losses on his record. So man's has never been submitted.
He's also never faced Brian Ortega. So
he's also never fought T-City. So yeah, it's going to be a
that's
good
the way
one.
I think it's going to go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got Ortega. I got Zombie. So
yeah, that's biased, but whatever.
No, it's not biased, whatever. Anyways, what do you guys think about the fights? You can let us know by commenting on this video or hitting us up on the podcast. If you are interested, please check out the link in the description for sending us voice messages. If you want to be on the podcast, if you want to send us a message, a joke, anything funny, or a question that you think is interesting, we'll be sure to answer it. We're trying to integrate a section in which we can kind of respond to like questions on the podcast and stuff. So we've created this infrastructure in which questions can be added to the podcast, and you will be notified for when your question is answered. So you get an email saying like, oh, your question is answered in the MMA Brothers podcast, and then you'll be able to listen and hear, and would really, really appreciate that engagement. So please check out the link in the description, hit us with a question, and we promise we'll answer them.
Yeah, no, thank you guys once again. We always look forward to chatting with you guys. It's our favorite part of the week, so we love the engagement, especially on Instagram. Comment on YouTube, guys, if you're watching, what you want to see. If you think I'm an idiot, you think Ash is right, you think I'm right, you think both of us are wrong, you think you're right, let us know your opinions. We love to hear them. We're going to have a few more guests on the podcast, and we love you guys. We out.
MMA Brothers Pod Instagram. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the MMA Brothers Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please give us a follow on our socials. You can check out a description of this episode for more, but don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at MMA Brothers Pod. We'll see you on the next episode.